Good morning. So, I've been out for a little while. I couldn't record earlier because it was too dark out, but it's light enough now. But I was thinking about something I heard a long time ago is what you allow, you accept. And what you accept becomes the normal. So when I'm going to put my spin on it as usual, but so when it comes to, like, just say my walking is something I allow every day into my life, and it becomes acceptable because I now have created my norm. So every morning I walk. If I don't walk, I don't feel right. I don't feel like I'm missing something. My day can't start unless I've walked, because I've been doing it for about 2 months now, and it has become my normal. Food. For years, I allowed bad food into my life. Now, I know we're going to have a difference of opinion on what we consider bad food. Well, to me, bad food was a lot of carbohydrates. It was processed food. It was fast food. It was fat. Because fat, salt, and sugar are very addictive. They have addictive qualities. And I was highly addicted. And I allowed that food into my body. And I accepted it. It became my norm. And then, of course, 300 pounds, my norm wasn't working for me anymore. I had to create a new one. So then I no longer allowed myself to have fast food. I no longer allowed myself to have high fatty foods, processed foods. I cut them all out, and I went vegan about a year ago. And yes, some people will argue you can have meat, healthy meats, and all of that, and that's good. That's what you allow. That's what's working for you. That's your normal. I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about me. So I no longer allowed those things in my life. I no longer accepted it, and it was no longer my normal. For the last about 2 months, I've not allowed anything in my life that was not a fruit, vegetable, nut, or seed. And I only consume them raw, or at least not heated over 118 degrees. And so my new norm is a raw vegan diet. And that's what I allow into my body. And that's what has been accepted by me because I've made it my normal. And that's the way I live now. Toxic people. If you have someone in your life that constantly puts you down, is constantly mean to you, constantly rude, is always negative, you're allowing that person in your life, and it becomes acceptable. And it becomes the norm. And so they're going to continue to treat you that way because you've allowed it. And you've shown them that you accepted that behavior. You know, if you think about, like, when raising kids, and your kid either hits you or is disrespectful to you, you don't allow that. You stop them right then and you say, hey, we don't do that. You don't treat your mama that way. You don't, disrespect me. You don't hit me. That is not acceptable behavior. And then you stop it. It's not your norm. It's a little harder to do when you're older and you're dealing with another adult, to stop them and say, I'm not allowing that. So it is hard. It's hard to stand up for yourself and say, I don't allow that. It's not going to be acceptable. But you have to. You really do. Because you are worth so much more than putting yourself in that position where people are going to belittle you or even just be mean to you or say mean things to you. You're worth more than that. God says you're worth more than that. I say you're worth more than that. So just remember, what you allow becomes acceptable. What's acceptable is your normal. So think about that for a little bit and go raw or go home.